Breaking tonight, Israel and the Palestinian group Hamas are at war after militants launched a surprise attack, killing at least 250 people. Israel quickly responded and is promising an unprecedented price will be paid. It's the deadliest attack in Israel in decades. Ian Lee is following developments from London.
A barrage of missiles suddenly jolted Israelis Saturday morning during a religious holiday. Palestinian militants launched thousands of rockets, followed by a coordinated land and sea attack against Israeli towns near the Gaza Strip. Hamas fighters took down part of a border fence and celebrated on top of a captured tank. With sirens wailing, some people took cover, while the injured were rushed to hospitals. Hundreds of people were killed. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared war and wasted little time retaliating. Israeli bombs took down a 14-story building in Gaza City believed to house Hamas offices, and troops battled Hamas gunmen in numerous towns near the Gaza Strip. Military commanders say a number of Israeli soldiers and civilians have been captured and taken into Gaza.
You know, many people have died already, and we hear about people being kidnapped and taken either from the military base or even from the home.
Tensions have been high between Israel and the Palestinians in recent months, which have some questioning why Israeli intelligence did not see such a coordinated attack coming. Israel is now calling up thousands of reserves for what could be one of the bloodiest conflicts in decades.
CBS News correspondent Ian Lee joins us from London with the very latest. And Ian, we should mention that you were based in Jerusalem for many years, so you have a wealth of knowledge in this area. First, I want to ask you about the instant reaction to this surprise attack. It's really twofold. How did intelligence fail? And then why didn't Israel's sophisticated border security stop this attack?
Yeah, hi, Derek. You know, Israel is not only in a state of war, it's in a state of shock. I've spoken to several Israelis who are comparing this to 9/11. They say that this intelligence failure is something beyond belief. They just can't believe that this wasn't picked up because Israel is known to have good intelligence on the Palestinian side. But also, when you look at the border between Gaza and Israel, I've been on both sides, on the Gaza side and the Israeli side. It is not only heavily fortified, it's heavily monitored. And so to see Palestinians go across that border easily without being challenged is something that I never thought I would really see, because Israel has put such a tight control on it. Likely one of the theories right now is that because of the barrage of missiles, thousands of them being fired from Gaza into Israel, soldiers were taking cover, and then the Palestinian militants took advantage of that situation. All of this is likely to be the subject of an independent inquiry after this war is over.
Israel and Hamas have fought wars, exchanged fire many times over the last decade and a half. You've been there during some of these situations. Ceasefires, have stopped major fighting in the past. Is there any idea what kind of concessions Hamas would be looking for?
It's really hard right now, Derek, to see what Hamas really wants out of this. They have taken some, for them, major prizes. They have a large number of what is being described as prisoners of war and hostages taken from Israel and dragged back into Gaza. These are going to be bargaining chips for Hamas in any sort of negotiation if Israel isn't able to get them back. In the past, I've covered a number of these situations where Israel has freed hundreds of Palestinian prisoners in exchange for Israeli captives. So that is something that we could see. But at this scale, it really is unprecedented what happened today, something that really we have never seen. And so we are in uncharted territory. This conflict is likely to be long. It's likely to be bloody. But, it's important to note, too, that, as you mentioned, this has been going on for over a decade. In the absence of a peace process and a peace between the two sides, these sorts of incidents are likely to happen over and over and over again.
All right, and it's something, of course, everyone at CBS News will be following closely in the days, weeks, and it appears months ahead. Ian, thank you for the time.